Oh, it feels good to be on the Sturgeon again. One of my favorite little rivers. Feels very backcountry when you're on the Sturgeon. You don't see much for cottages or anything like that. And the rapids are usually pretty mild. I miss running little rivers like this. What is going on? I think there's a duck up ahead that can't fly. I feel so bad, but we gotta go that way. Oh, poor guy. He broke his wing or something. Anyways, welcome to the Sturgeon. It's funny how the memories suddenly come flooding back when you're back in a place you haven't been for a long time. I think it's been about 5 years since I paddled this section of the Sturgeon, and yeah, feels like it's yesterday now that I'm paddling it. Already starting to see some of the epic views that I remember the Sturgeon for. This part of it's a bit like paddling through a swamp, but God, there's some beautiful sections. Fortunately, it looks like we might be making camp a little bit earlier than I was hoping for. We got up here later than I was thinking we would, and there's a lot more portages to get us over into Solace tonight, so good thing we booked in on the Sturgeon anyways. Well, we've checked out both campsites on the lake that are potential campsites for the night, and both of them have major downfalls. The one didn't have a fire pit at all, and I could see why. It was buried in the trees. And this one is not going to be fun to park at. But it's going to have a nicer view, and it does have a fire pit. And there's no shortage of blueberries. Nona's already digging in. Cleaning all the blueberries up, Nona? You gotta leave some for the rest of the animals. Castle's getting in on it too. It's an interesting site we picked, that's for sure. Kinda love the tent location, even though it's a pain to get up to it. All the blueberries you can eat, and should have a perfect view of the sunset. Can't wait for that. Realized when we were just chilling there for a bit, I was looking at the map, and the reason we didn't push a little bit further today, because I didn't think there was any campsites unless we wanted to do 7 portage, and being as we got on the water at probably 4:45 or something, I didn't think that was reasonable to make it to them. But ended up flipping the map over and realizing that there was a campsite at the very tip of the lake after 2 portages, which would have been reasonable to get to tonight. So learn from me, kids, and always flip your map. Kind of feels weird to be able to have a fire again after a month and a bit of fire bans. Still feel like we should be being careful though, because everything still seems pretty dry. That's not good. There it goes. Getting to the time of year where we have to cover the stove at night, or else the little holes in the burner get clogged up. Good morning. I haven't even had my coffee yet, so don't expect much out of me. Oh, we have a big day ahead of us. I think we want to try and push all the way across Solace today, ideally, at least. Would like to make it further, but it's quite a bit of portages that I've never done before, so I'm never super optimistic when I don't know exactly what I'm getting into. Plan for the worst, hope for the best, and see how far you make it. Usually at this stage of the trip I like to cover as much ground as I can and try and get ahead of things so that the rest of the trip doesn't feel like a push. I mean, if you make the first 2-3 days of the trip a push on something this long, then usually means the last bit of the trip's going to be relaxed, or at least you don't have to worry as much. I don't think Castle's excited for today because she didn't get a very good sleep. Back on the water. I don't know if I'm hoping for the sun to come out today or not. The overcast is kind of nice with that little bit of cool breeze. We don't have a far paddle to the first portage, and it's like a 1,000-meter portage, so starting the day off right. First portage of the trip. That's a doozy.
You can get a free mud treatment for your feet. Might even lose your shoe. Marsh, marsh, marsh. See, look. Don't you want that? You don't like having wet feet, or I recommend bringing a second pair of shoes. But it's summer, they'll dry out. The portage a little Y here, but as you can see, Ryan's heading in this direction where there's a flag, and someone's come through and put some sticks across going this way. So sometimes people will do that just to indicate that the main portage is the flag section and to not go this way. We're assuming that just goes towards a little pond. So some things to look out for. Sometimes a pile of sticks might have a secret meaning.
Whew. Happy to have the longest portage of the day out of the way, but unfortunately it might not be the hardest portage. Looking at my map, I've noticed that it says the 720 going into Solace Lake is extremely difficult, so I'm interested to see what that means. Usually the old Jeff's maps are pretty on point when they say stuff like that, so whew. Extremely difficult. Apparently I just missed a shot of the moose. It's just around the corner when Castle launched her boat, poking its head out of the bushes, and by the time I got in my boat around the corner, it was gone. Loon's greeting us to the lake. It's kind of nice. Oh, this is going to be fun. Pond hopping is my least favorite when you're just in and out of the boat every 30 seconds. It's a bit of a pain, and it's when it pays to be organized and just have minimal amount of things to grab. Oh, it's pretty nice parking, actually. It's like a sandy beach. Which I thought I could see a little sandbar over there. Come on. There's like a lump there.
Okay, so I normally film on the second portages just so I can get the hard carry over with first. And then also I can see stuff that's cool to show you. This one, buckle up. First of all, if you had any belief, look at that moose track, from the last portage, or the portage before, that your feet would get dry. No, my friend. They are in fact going to be wetter than ever before. You are in fact going to be wet to halfway up your leg.
I thought I brought white socks, not brown socks. Oh. Ooh, that was a brutal portage. To have that one done, I hope we don't have many more like that. Crazy.
That's a big leap.
Yeah.
I have pants on, thank God.
Started wading through and pulling the boat because it was pretty shallow and saw some pretty big leeches, so decided to hop in.
Like underwater fog.
Not a very super interesting chain of little lakes. I mean, the last one we came across wasn't bad. It's probably the most interesting of all of them so far. Looks like we might be in for another swamp walk. Oh no.
Well, we're back on another marsh. It's great. I fell on the first way through, up past my knees into the marsh. Not my finest moment. This part's super deep. Let's see. Grab the tree. Ugh. See? Look at that. And I almost fell. I'm fighting for my life out here. I think we're done filming. Okay. Bye, friends.
Okay. Ooh. Oh, that portage wasn't fun. None of these portages have been fun. They're possibly the worst string of portages I've ever done in a single day. Usually you have one or two that suck, but almost every one of these has sucked and not been pretty or interesting. Yeah. Hopefully Solace is worth it. Well, we're at the start of the portage that said quite difficult on the map. So we'll find out pretty soon what we're in for. Woo! Welcome to Solace. Oh, I like the look of a big lake. Frig. That portage wasn't that bad, really. It was just a boulder garden, which is not the greatest, but I think after today I'll take it over a marsh anytime. Oh, this lake looked pretty. Get used to this. Yeah, the boulder gardens aren't that fun. Constantly watching your step. Castle actually rolled like 100, 200 pound rock over and slammed her knee into the rock next to it. I was a little bit scared we were going to be heading home for a minute by the way she screamed. nice sight. Well, today turned out to be a bit more of a slog than we thought it was going to be. Didn't look too bad on the maps, all the portages we had to do, but yeah, we were both pretty tuckered by Solace. Castle was a little bit more tuckered than I was, and I think so was Nona. They're actually napping right now. And I opted to drink a coffee and go out and do some fishing because the wind's kind of calmed down a little bit. Yeah, just be prepared for that. If you want to take on this route yourself, it's a bit of a push. But the good news is, now that I'm in the boat and there's not 9 days worth of food for us and a dog, it feels pretty easy to paddle. Can't get over this lake. Solace is a pretty beautiful lake. Definitely the most scenic one we've encountered on the trip so far. That's part of what made it a little bit easier to just say, let's spend the night here. My only fear is we're already falling a little bit behind schedule, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. Hoping to make up some time once we get to Florence. That will help us still make the trip possible, but hey, I'm not out here to kill myself. If we have to change the route a little bit to have a better time, then that's probably what we're going to do. The echo from the loon's kind of unreal. I wonder if he thinks he's talking to another loon, or he realizes that's his echo that's replying. Well, the sunset was a bit of a dud. It looked really hopeful for a minute. Oh, I wish we could just get a nice sunset or a sunrise. I don't think we've had a single epic one this year. Hopefully sometime on this trip we'll get a good sunset. Woo! Good morning. Beauty day. We got just a short paddle and then we're at our first portage. Hoping to at least get to Pilgrim, maybe further by lunchtime, and then if not Florence, at least make it to Blue Sucker. Then we could be on Florence pretty quick the next day. We're just taking the mentality of we make it to where we make it to after yesterday, because I think both of us were a little bit disappointed that we didn't make it further. Although it was a beautiful sight on Solace. First portage down, and I already see the next one. And we already have wet feet. Second portage. At least it's a short one. This is actually a pretty little lake. This is the lake we would have stayed on last night if we just kept pushing. But we were kind of afraid of the unknown. Looking at it on the map, it didn't look like anything special. So we decided to just stay put because we knew what we had.
So it's quite a steep hill right here. Getting into this portage. Looks like a snowmobile trail. And it's a lot steeper. And the portage line kind of comes up here. So our first go walking back, we walked down there and then had to walk along the shore. So let's keep an eye out. There's no flag. I don't think Nona likes being behind him. Let's go around, Nona. There you go.
The elevation change on that portage was possibly the most brutal one I've ever done. The one coming from Donald to Matagamacy is pretty bad in the Chiniguchi area as well, but I don't know, that one might have a beat. I can't imagine doing that portage in the opposite direction of what we just did. It would have been absolutely brutal. Anyways, we made it to Maggie and we're making good time today, so I'm actually possibly hopeful that we make it to Florence. So there's the next portage. Warned on the map that it was very difficult and often wet. Looks like a promising start. Straight up a hill.
This portage literally has everything. Steep hills, check. Obstacles, check. Boulder gardens, check. Swamp, check. Ugh, tired of the swamps. All right, so after all the suffering, you have to check out this view though. It's like a reward. Look at that.
Oh, that portage was brutal. It was literally the portage from hell. Definitely believe what old Jeffy said on that one. Oh, I think we're just gonna float for a minute and have lunch because the wind's working with us. It's gonna hopefully blow us right to the next portage. 3 more portages at least. I don't think we're making that to Florence today. At 685 and 780 or whatever it was, kind of kicked the crap out of us. The rest of the portages haven't been too bad today, but yeah, to make it all the way to Florence, I think we'd be in for another 780, an 80 meter, and then 1200 and some meters. So I don't know if that's going to be realistic, considering I think it's almost 2 o'clock now. And we're both pretty tuckered. Oh yeah, plus we're having constant gear break-offs. We had one of the straps on our backpack break. We managed to mend it on the side of the portage and carry on. Do a better repair on the site tonight. And hopefully it can take on the like 30 plus portages I think we have left. I think I see a portage sign over there, but I don't think that makes sense. Well, we made it to Blue Sucker, and it's actually pretty close to lunchtime. We gotta stop and feed the dog because she didn't eat her breakfast this morning, and Castle really hasn't had a proper lunch. So we go for a swim and then decide if we want to try and do the last push to Florence or not today. My shoulders are barking. Whew. It definitely feels like a storm's rolling in. We got clouds on the horizon. We can see that definitely look like they're dropping rain. So we decided we better set the tent up and kind of make camp here. It did say 70% chance of rain this evening. Though it only said 1 millimeter, but that was almost 3 days ago now that we looked at that forecast. So I don't have full faith in it. morning. Another beautiful day in Temagami. Oh, the camera's fogging up. It was a little cold this morning, so everything keeps fogging up. God, I'm loving the blueberries in my oatmeal every morning. That's certainly a nice treat. We didn't get to do them too much yesterday. By the time we got here, we were both pretty cooked, and almost immediately started raining, and off and on rained until basically dark. So we had a bit of a nap and just hung out under the tarp and listened to the sound of the rain. Would have been a beautiful spot if it wasn't raining the whole time. But, yeah. It's nice, a bit of relaxation after a million portages. We had a couple gear failures at the end of yesterday. One of them being the gear tie on my portage yoke, which was an easy fix. We had a couple extra gear ties, so went ahead and swapped that out. Got a new tie on there, just holds the pin for a 3.5-inch nail that connects into my boat and makes it easier to carry. It's not too bad to carry a solo canoe if you don't have a yoke. It's not ideally balanced, but it is doable. I'd say it's better than a tandem if you break your yoke. At least you have the seat to use as a yoke. But the more concerning gear failure we had was the strap in our barrel let go. And of course it's the 60 liter, so it's the bigger pain in the butt to carry. So all I did was kind of connect 2 knots together, because that's about all I could do with the little dangly bit of strap that we had left. I'm probably going to throw a gear tie on it too, just to make sure it stays secure. But yeah, that's not a good time if we don't have 2 straps on our barrel. Oh, the only benefit we have is that the harnesses I use on the barrels are actually interchangeable between a 30 and a 60, but that would mean we'd have to take the one harness and change it back and forth for every portage to carry the barrel, so that wouldn't be a fun time. And we're only on day 3, so yeah, hopefully the repair will hold up for the rest of the trip. Let's go. The sun. Oh, that's the only crappy thing about sight with the sunset is usually you don't get a sunrise, and you don't even see the sun for the first few hours of the day until you get on the water. Sacrifices. I think that might be Florence Mountain off in the distance. If it is, it looks pretty damn high. Be interested to know what the height difference is between it and Maple Mountain, just in case we miss out on Maple Mountain, because if it's only within like 20 meters of height difference, it definitely makes it seem like not the end of the world. Last of the fog burning off the lake. Freaking beautiful.
So far, I think this has been like the nicest portage we've seen, other than some of the little ones. It's pretty casual, not really tiring. Just like windy and pretty through the forest. And other than that little creek section, like, and at the end, where it's just a boulder garden to get the canoe into the water.
Tricky
pretty
spot.
easy.
Felt my foot slip. Come on. Okay. Good girl. That was so graceful. One portage down. 2 more to go. The next one's probably super easy. It's only 80 meters. But the one after that's 12:30 or something like that. It's a long one. Either a crow or a hawk and an owl fighting. It's hard to tell. I just caught a glimpse of them as they took off. Always funny to watch birds fight. This totally reminds me of heading up to Wolf and Victoria and the Queen Elizabeth II Wildlife Park from Crooked Lake. Just narrow swamp paddling. It looks very similar other than mostly conifers through here. I think there's a bit more variety in the wildland. But, yeah, it's a fitting image.
Oh, we just came across our first people in 4 days. It's really, really nice family on our last portage into Florence. And it sounds like they're going on a similar route, but just in the opposite direction from us. Not exactly the same, but you know. And so it felt good to share some warning about the swamp. And it sounds like we're in for a treat with Florence Lake. They said it was really, really nice. And they let us know about a really nice site. And I'm excited.
Whew. That was a long portage. At least it's our final portage for probably a day and a half. Oh, our plan is just to paddle over to Florence Mountain and either have lunch at the bottom or the top. See how we feel. Still feels less brutal than the previous 2 days. It's a big hill. Whoa! Oh. Oh, they might be landing. Yep. Well, that would have been easier than what we just did. So the float plane just dropped people off in the lake. Kind of seems like taking the easy way in, but I'm also super jealous. They had the easiest day ever, and we're about to start a big hike. It's steep. Oh, hopefully they don't take the site that nice couple recommended to us, because we're kind of in love with Florence so far. We're thinking we'll probably spend the night here. Woo! Non-stop steepness. Feel like we barely started the hike, and we've already done most of the elevation change. It's got to flatten out at some point. Ow! Stick in the back. It's a bit of a confusing one. You get to the last trail marker, you're not at the highest point, and the other thing is the trail seems to be leading in the opposite direction that my map shows. I mean, the view's pretty awesome, but I keep thinking, from looking down below, it looked like the view would have been more awesome if we were sort of heading south down the ridge, but it seems to be pointing us north down the ridge. Doesn't really make any sense, but yeah, we've retraced our steps to the last trail marker we can find multiple times, gone pretty much every direction we can, and we don't know where the trail's supposed to lead to. You can see it looks like other people have got confused because there's just little trails leading off in all directions and then just kind of dead ending. So yeah, this might be the top. And now to descend, unless we spot a different trail. Well, we made it down the Florence Mountain without any incidents. Frig, that was steep. I think that was even worse than hiking the elephant in Chiniguchi. We're looking for a site now, hoping that the people we've seen get dropped off from the float plane didn't steal the epic site that the couple recommended to us on the last portage to get in here. Come on, wind! We can see the site! It looks nice. Well, we found our site for the night, and it's a beach site. Beautiful. Although it is a bit windy, so unfortunately we're gonna have to go over to our other beach site. I can't believe this site has two beaches. It's like a narrow peninsula that's barely joined on both sides. So probably not technically a peninsula, but it's got a beach on either side, and it's a completely different day over here. This is possibly one of the coolest campsites I've ever stayed on. Not the one that was recommended to us, I don't believe, from the description they were giving us. That one was actually taken by the guys who flew in on the float plane. They paddled all of 100 feet or something to the site and then set up while we were hiking. We don't really know what we're gonna do with two beaches, so we're thinking maybe one can be the nude beach and one can be the non-nude beach. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. And we also have a creepy cabin to explore. Possibly haunted, who knows? Who left these here? The view from the Thunderbox is pretty nice. Not a lot of privacy though if people are hanging out on the beach. So we decided to do a little bit of an adventure and search for the caves that are marked on the map, but I don't know if we can find them unless some of these crevices are considered caves. I mean, like, it's an impressive crevice, but would I consider it a cave? Not really. I've seen a couple you could kind of wedge yourself down in, but they don't seem to go anywhere. Maybe your 5-year-old could go cave exploring in them. Fully grown man, probably not. It is super cool though, but I found cooler caves on the Black River and in the Kashi Barrens Conservation Reserve. How am I going to get my butt out of here? We're back on site now, hoping that we do get an epic sunset tonight. It's got potential again, but it keeps disappointing us. Oh, that would be sweet. Get the most epic sunset on the trip. On probably what's going to be the most epic site of the trip. Here's hoping. Yeah, sound like, ooh.
Yeah, basically. Ryan started the fire.
Good morning. Ooh, another beautiful day in Temagami. Gonna break my heart to leave this site. It's probably one of the most epic sites I've ever stayed on. The two beaches. We laid the maps out this morning and did some math. We know we're not gonna make Maple Mountain. There's no way we'll just kill ourselves. At this point we're running probably at least a day behind schedule because of the rough portages getting us up to Florence. We knew this might happen and we kind of had some alternative routes in mind, so we chose one of those alternative routes. Anyways, we're hoping to make it up to just above Dee's Lake. I can't remember the name of the lake now, it's escaping me. And then that should set us up for 3 portages to get over to Sunnywater, and I can't wait to get back into Sunnywater. Anyways, time to get on the water. Bye, beach. I miss you. I can't recommend this lake enough. It's got everything. Multiple sandy beaches, a bunch of epic campsites, beautiful views in pretty much every direction of just big rolling hills. It's got a little hike. It's got that dilapidated cabin to explore. Yeah, if you ever get the chance to stay on Florence for a night or two, I highly recommend it. One of the best things about paddling a river as opposed to a lake is there's a better chance you have shade. Another benefit is that you often get closer encounters with wildlife on a river because you got banks close on both sides. I think you're like doubling your chances of seeing something. It's where I usually see moose and bear. And you just kind of sneak up on them as you roll around the corner, like we did with those Magansers. We made it to the intersection between the Florence River and the Lady Evelyn River. And it's only 9:15. Amazing how much ground you can cover when you're not going back and forth on portages and unloading and loading the boat. Friggin' ridiculous. I feel like we're gonna easily get done what we want to get done today. The river is a little bit weedier than I expected. I have some thick lily pads. Which means the flow is pretty slow, but that group, a couple we met, actually mentioned that the paddle up the river, because that was the direction they were heading, was pretty easy. So I kind of thought it might be a little bit slower moving river. Back on the river and out of Duff now. And it seems like the river's picked up pace a little bit. Oh, and as we roll around the corner, I might have to take that statement back. We're in a nice section where there was no lily pads to fight. But I see a bunch of lily pads up ahead. So. I spoke too soon. The river seems to be getting prettier. Look at those elevations up front. How cool would it be to climb those? Ooh, this might be a scrape fest. It reminded me of the sturgeon, except the rocks aren't pointy like the sturgeon. It's all just river rocks, so I'm not even worried about scraping the boat a little bit. That was kind of fun. Super slow, moving swift. Move, rock. Oh, we missed her. Trying to slow myself down, wait for catch. I'm also setting myself up to where I need to be. Rock in the middle. Right in the middle. There's a rock. No! Come on. I didn't see that. No, now. You go fast. I'm gonna be mad. You're fine. Sit. Sit. I'm gonna wait for your mom. Yeah, if I didn't catch that eddy, I wouldn't have got caught on the damn rock.
Well, I just back paddled and watched what you did, and then I was like, don't go there.
Well, that's the end of the Lady Evelyn River for us. We're at the first portage going into Dee's Lake. Unfortunately, since we changed our route, we don't really know what the portage is after Dees Lake. I just see a line leading away from it, and then my other map shows it connecting up. So after this portage, we're going to paddle across Dees, and then we have Mystery Portage, just to keep things exciting.
The Mystery Portage turned out to be actually one of the nicest portages yet. It is a little long, we don't know the length, but it's just super flat and straight for the most part. Yeah, it's great. Just thinking about the patch of sweet fern we just went through. One of the foraging books that I was reading recently was talking about how some Indigenous people in Canada would use sweet fern to line their baskets to collect blueberries to keep them from going bad. I thought it was very interesting. So they must have a good relationship. And then they're also talking about how, not in a foraging sense, but you could burn a little bit of sweet fern in your fire to keep mosquitoes at bay. Don't overharvest any plant, please. It's better to use other prevention methods for bugs than harvesting a bunch of sweet fern, but if you're in a pinch or just want something interesting to know, there it is.
I have to look at the map. It might show it on the map. It's been a pretty nice leisurely paddle up the Gamble so far. The only thing is we're kind of hailing another group that we passed on the portage, or I should say they passed us on the portage, and they're heading up to Gamble as well. And there's not a lot of sites around there, so, and it's an access point apparently. I just realized that. So we're hoping we're not going to be fighting for sites. I mean, it's Tuesday right now, so hopefully not a lot of people there, but it's going to really suck if we get all the way up there and then we have to do another portage to a lake in the wrong direction to get a site, because I don't think we're going to start heading over to Sunny Water at the end of the day, considering it's 2 o'clock now. Probably got another hour before we're even on Gamble.
Well, we just met another super nice family from the States. They invited us to stay on their site, which was really nice. We didn't really want to ruin their family vacation, so we just had a quick snack and got to speak with them a little bit. And we are on the road. Portage is like a little fairyland. I find running into people here, you're meeting a lot of like-minded individuals who are also just out here. And you know, not a lot of people I know enjoy this kind of pain and suffering to get the same tranquility, right? Most people think we're crazy. So, I don't know. Kind of changes your mindset. I think we're just getting away from a certain type of people. Certain way of living, and allowing ourselves a nice break. So.
Okay, no, let's go. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Sit. Good girl. Nona hacking on video. Stop smoking, Nona. Oh, what a push today. We almost stopped with this super nice family that we met along the way. from New Jersey. They kind of called us over and asked if we wanted to set our tent up on their site, because I think they knew what we were going through was a bit of a push, and all the sites seem to be taken by camp groups. But I'm super glad we kept pushing, because we found this. Woo. 2 epic campsites in a row. And a beautiful swim spot. Freaking amazing. 2 beautiful campsites in a row. So worth the push. Freaking wild. I want to swim in there so bad. We figured it'd be hard to top the site from last night, but having a site with an overlook of this massive falls and the area all to ourselves is kind of blowing us away. Beautiful swim spot, beautiful view of the falls. You can get up close and personal. So we're not disappointed. Father of the super nice family that we ran into told us how horrible the 2,000 meter going into Sunnywater was. And yeah, I remember that Portages coming up from smooth water to Sunnywater being horrible, so I tend to believe him. I know there's a huge elevation change to get up to Sunnywater, so I'd rather just take it easy. Looks like it's a lot more of a gradual change the way we're doing. And there's some more supposed caves on the lake we're planning on staying at this point tomorrow night. Anyways, I'm tuckered, so I'm going to take it easy for the rest of the night. Good morning. Oh, another beautiful day in Temagami. We pushed a little bit farther than we wanted to yesterday, but it was well worth it for this epic waterfalls site we had at Elizabeth Falls. Today we're gonna work our way north. We're just past the halfway mark of our trip, which means it's all downhill from here. Except it's not, because yeah, where we're going in the next couple days is, I believe, one of the highest lakes in Ontario. Today our plan is to work our way up into Ka Lake, KAA, and then down into Wabin for the night. Can't wait to get on the water. One of the worst places we've had to launch yet, and they've been bad. Kind of a cool spot. I feel like the channel's getting more interesting the more we follow it up, which is usually the opposite of what happens.
This trip has Ryan and I considering getting a tandem just for like these bigger, longer trips, so we're not spending so much energy doing the portage twice. Well, really 3 times, since we have to walk back to get our second load of stuff. That'd be ideal. We just have to consider how to condense all the gear and food down into something I can actually manage to carry all at once. We've seen how nice it is with other people that can just do a single carry, even though we're faster paddlers, and they can just smoke us on the portage. Anyway.
wait. Rocky. That was a fun portage. Oh, first like 300 meters of that was rough. Fancy footwork. Lots of fun. Oh, the rest of it wasn't that bad though. Guessing we're already almost at the next portage from the look of it. One of the nice things about a kayak paddle, you can just lead your boat up if you want to. Hoping that you don't step on unstable rocks. In some ways, I like it better than lining. Well, you teach yours and we'll do mine first.
How do you feel about the portage?
Nicest portage yet. Nice flat road. Sun's not out.
Some nice St. John's wort. It's a really good healing herb actually. You can let the blossoms and oil in the sun and oil will turn red. It's good for scrapes and bruises. Also can be used as an antidepressant, but careful on ingestion because it can have a lot of bad drug interactions. This is some yarrow. Again, another medicinal herb. I once read this cool thing that was talking about how Celtic warriors would actually staunch their wounds with yarrow. You can also drink it as a tea. It's a great little herb. The best find of this whole trip. Look at these rose hips. They're not ripe yet, but rose hips are super tasty and a really good source of vitamin C. You can do lots with them. You can eat them like a fruit. You can dry them out to make tea. You can put them into a jelly or a syrup. Really quite versatile.
Nona keeps wanting to get out of the canoe, so she's swimming. Ready to stay in the canoe yet, puppy? So far, working our way up into Ka Lake has been pretty brutal. And after Ka, we got another creek, I'm pretty sure, that we got to go down or up. I'm not really sure. Hoping it's not like this creek, because this is almost giving me memories of top of the Black River. Like the first trip video really that I did for the channel, and I just said I don't recommend that. If you're gonna do the Black River, I recommend starting from Bridge Rapids because it's pretty nice from there down, but everything above that was just a slog. Woo. Finally made it to Ka, I think. That was a push. We're at the portage out of Ka Lake. This is the point where we kind of turn and start heading sort of southwest down towards Sturgeon Lake and eventually Smoothwater. Would I do that section again? Probably not. I probably would have just gone the other way and paddled back down towards Gamble, but hey, here we are. We're hoping that Sturgeon Lake is pretty. It looks like it has some nice contour lines and caves marked on it, so if we're spending the night there, hopefully it's makes this all worthwhile. Well, that was a very brief moment of no swamp paddling. And we're back to this. Good times. So far, much better than the other creek. Hope I don't jinx us by saying that though.
The creek in this section is a little too shallow, and there's just a path that joins it with the next portage. So we're just saving ourselves from getting in and out of the boat for a short paddle, but it means a longer portage.
This looks like a tight squeeze. A little confusing because the map tells you to go on the east side of the lake, but it sure looks like the west side is better. Didn't even know if we were gonna sneak through there. The friggin' cliffs on the east side of this lake are ridiculous. Kind of see them peeking through the trees there. Cool stuff. Stop for a quick lunch break, and this is a beautiful lake. I honestly wouldn't mind getting stuck here, except we haven't seen a super nice campsite, but this one's not terrible. And the view is just spectacular of the cliffs. Can't believe it. We just got 2 more portages to get us down onto Waven Lake, which is camp for the night, hopefully. Looks like we're racing the rain, so we better get this done quick.
Well, it's supposed to be like a 480, and the pond's dried up, so we're going a marshing. This connects to the next portage, which makes this like a kilometer long. We dropped our stuff off at the side of the quote next portage because this was brutal.
Oh. Welcome to Waven. Oh, happy to be here. That's a hike and a half. So we made it onto Waven and got another epic sight. Not the greatest climb up to the site, but the view from it is spectacular. It's kind of weird going in through these lakes. It's almost like somebody's given us a sign that we shouldn't have come this way, because a lot of the fire pits through this area aren't really used. So it doesn't look like a lot of people pass through this way, but Waven and Bar are just beautiful lakes. Crazy elevation changes on the sides of them. Beautiful cliffs. Yeah, can't say enough about these 2 lakes. It's a lot nicer than Gamble as a access, but the route we took to get here wasn't the greatest. Kind of wish we just went down through Gamble, but hey, it is what it is. We had the time to see a little bit more since we cut out part of our route and changed our plans, so yeah, we're just enjoying the sights on these lakes that seems like a lot of people haven't paddled before. One of the big reasons I love a kayak paddle is because it makes correcting where you're going while you're fishing kind of nice. I can just do little corrections while I stand up in the boat. Without setting my rod down, sitting down, brace off your back, put your arms straight, and just kind of pry off your back. Let you spin around nice. And lets me keep fishing without ever sitting down. Handy. Again, nothing I would really consider a cave so far, but one gigantic freaking rock cliff. I'm gonna fall off there. Alright, I might have found the caves. This is actually a cave. It doesn't seem huge, but if I can fit inside of it, I would consider it a cave. Another little cave. And a third one. Not the most impressive caves I've ever found, but cool nonetheless. Would be helpful if you forgot your tent at home. We're getting a bit of thunder rolling off in the distance. This could be an interesting night. Especially because Nona doesn't really like lightning. Same thing. Lightning, thunder, tomato, same thing. Good morning. Another beautiful but windy day. We have a lot of portages in store for us today, which is kind of been the par for the course, Castle says. We're saying this is almost like a hiking trip where we decided to bring canoes. It's been kind of brutal, but the scenery's been beautiful, as you can see. Oh, we're hoping to make it to Sunnywater for lunch, which is one of the clearest lakes in the park. Actually, I think it is the clearest lake in the park, maybe, quote me. Very comparable to the famous Nelly Lake in Killarney. So we're excited for that, and then hopefully make it down to Smoothwater, which probably won't be very smooth because it's super windy this morning. Luckily we dodged the storm last night. The lightning, thunder stayed to the north of us, so that was nice. Had a bit of a lightning show as we were going to sleep though. A little tip to save cooking fuel on a long trip like this so you don't run out is to just fill your cooking pot up with water from your water filter instead of getting it from the lake. That way you don't have to bring the water to a full boil, which on a 10-day trip is probably going to get you a few extra meals out of your fuel bottle. Keep that in mind.
Your feet. You look so white and like pale and sad.
And sad.
Sad that they're going in the wet shoes for another day.
Oh, the wet shoes. We brought some water shoes or river boots to keep dry feet, but we ended up just using our shoes because the portages are so rugged that the river boots and that wouldn't be very nice on the feet when you step on sharp objects. Whoa! Woohoo! I'm coming for you, Mama. Oh! That was hectic. Wind and rocks equal no fun. Call this portage the Waving Highway. We're hoping that means it's easy, the easy way to go, straightforward, you know, like taking the highway. Here's hoping. Portaging tip: when you're going uphill, especially when you have heavy gear on your back, just like lean a little bit into the hill, like lean forward.
it just allows your body to get natural momentum to move forward. And if you're tired, take a break and enjoy the scenery. Blueberries are very abundant in this area. We try not to take a lot from the bushes. We want to make sure that we're always leaving some for wildlife and not enough for the plant. It can be really bad for both the wildlife that rely on the food source and also a detriment to the plant itself, because blueberries naturally have seeds and they're going to drop. Birds are eating them. Some of these seeds will come out in their feces and they might be able to grow, but also the older berries will fall beneath and they'll grow again next year.
It felt longer. Well, we made it to Sunny Water and it's not very sunny. There's a rather angry storm bearing down on us right now. Thunder, lightning, the whole bit. Planned on stopping and having lunch at the end of the portage before we paddled across Sunny Water. And then we came across the lake and almost immediately seeing a huge lightning strike, and then the rain picked up. So we just set up the tarp and we're just chilling, seeing how it goes before we set everything up and just call this site for the night. We have some friendlier looking skies heading towards us now. The rain's starting to peter off, so we're gonna pack up the tarp and try and make a run for smooth water. Wish us luck. Anytime I talk to somebody about this lake, I tell them it's like swimming in bottled water. Castle, what do you think of Sunny Water?
It's so cool. Look, I can see the bottom.
It's like blue colored too, eh?
Yeah.
Not even quite turquoise.
You can make a bottled water commercial here.
This is where our bottled water comes from. Sunny Water Lake.
So cool.
It looks so blue.
I wish it was sunny.
Never had a sunny day on Sunny Water.
Yeah. 10 out of 10 cool lake. It's so blue. It's so nice.
It's a cool lake, eh?
Yeah. It's so cool.
It's unbelievably blue.
I've never seen anything like it unless like a little kid took a crayon and drew it. But...
Yeah.
Ooh.
We're now entering a fish sanctuary for the endangered species, the Aurora trout. So keep your hooks to yourselves.
Everything looks nice after the rain. A little slippery, but it's so pretty. Kind of worth it. We just came down that. This is quite steep and rocky, and since it just rained, it's very slippery. It's really pretty and really cool though. Just watch your step. There's a wild Nona! Here she comes! Get out of my boat! Are you a dolphin?
Well, I don't know how we did it, but 4 epic campsites in a row. Man, hard to beat. beat this. The only one problem with it is that we were racing a camp group all the way down here, and we kind of figured we were going for the same sites as they were. We were a lot faster than they were, so we got here first, but then they decided to set up camp pretty much right next to us. They came over to warn us about the noise for the night though, which we really appreciate that. That was really nice. And honestly, don't mind that much. I mean, how can you be pissed off with a view like this? Whew. Beautiful spot, but it's pretty busy. What are the seagulls saying, Nona? Seagull stuff? Good morning. It is nice and foggy, overcast this morning. I was hoping we were going to wake up to a sunny day, but can't win them all. Today we're just going to try and work our way down towards Scarecrow Lake. If we do well, we'll probably make it to Scarecrow Lake. If not, we'll probably stay on McCullough, I think it is, or Mahill. It would be nice to just have to climb Ishpatina Ridge on Saturday, and that's basically our day. Maybe do a little bit of paddle, cover some ground, and that's it. Oh, I can't wait to be back up the mountain.
I'm gonna put a leash on you soon. Here.
Kind of sad to see all the little bits of garbage and food and little articles of clothing that people have left in this beautiful spot. Kind of breaks your heart a little bit, but I guess the way it is because it's close to access point. I mean, it's the access point I used 4 or 5 years ago when I did part of this route. Just finishing packing up, and then we're gonna be on the road for another day. Yeah, that's what we were camped next to. Needless to say, they were a little bit loud, but not too bad. We're on the water pretty early, and it's already a little bit choppy. I mean, it was worse the first time I ever paddled it years ago, but starting to think smooth water is ironically named. Luckily, it's not too much of a battle yet. Little baby McGansers. Pretty ducks.
Well, we are starting our morning with the biggest portages, like every other day, which is preferable. This portage, pretty narrow, lots of rocks, lots of roots.
I'd imagine it's down at the end of the lake, but you might want to just peek into that bay.
It's pretty nice when all you can see is straight ahead of you on the portage. It's very flat. Very nice. And the sun came out. So, things are looking up Millhouse.
This little pond hopping section going down from smooth water to Scarecrows bring back some memories of when I did this years ago. Every time we get to a portage, Castle asks me, "Do you remember this portage?" And I'm like, "No." And then when we get into it, I'm like, "Yeah, I remember this portage." Go. seem to remember a nice campsite at the end of this lake, so I think we're gonna stop for lunch. And then after lunch, we only got 3 more portages. 2 of them were really short, so woohoo! Can't wait for Scarecrow tonight. Not sure what site I'm hoping we get, but there is a group seems to be making a little bit better time through these portages because they can single carry them. First sighting of Ishpatina Ridge. I see the tower. Ooh, after the push today, I definitely think we're doing that tomorrow though. Poor puppy's cold. She went swimming on the last portage. Carry my boat away. It's actually working. Perfect. Do anything. Thank you, stream. See the tower again. Oh, perfect timing, son. So green.
Play a game of Forest Limbo. How low can you go? It's actually not very low. Ugh. Limbo. Heading into Scarecrow. It is 1,200 meters. Actually, not really bad. Portage. I'm lucky for all the portages today. They've actually all been pretty nice. And the sun's back.
And a little bit of sun to greet us on the Scarecrow. Another view of Solace Tower. Looks like somebody's taking a ranger cabin site, fortunately. Met a group of boys. Sounds like they're on a 50-day canoe trip, and they're on day 30. Freaking crazy, man. Can't imagine. It would be epic. We made it to Scarecrow. Got our stuff set up and somehow got the exact site we wanted. I feel like we've gotten so lucky on this trip with sites. We considered staying at the base of the hike for Ishpatina Ridge, but I have stayed there before and it's not a super spectacular site. I do love the history. The piers are still there from the old ranger cabin, so it's kind of interesting. But anyways, we're loving the fact that we got the site we wanted with a beautiful view of Ishpatina Ridge on the other side of the island. Can't wait to hike that tomorrow. So we've had yet another gear failure on this trip, and this is another pretty bad one. Crucial piece of gear, it's our tent. And another hole. Happened on the beach site last night. We're not sure how. Setting up on a beach seems like the least likely way to rip your bottom of your tent, but we're wondering if there's a piece of glass or something like that, because we were finding little bits of glass in the beach. So that's probably when it happened. Ugh, party sites, man. It was a beautiful spot, but yeah. Not sure how we're going to fix that one. That's definitely going to have to wait until we get home. Good morning. The sun's doing some weird stuff with the fog this morning. It just seemed like a complete blanket when I got up, but now it almost seems like there's a sparse layer just over the lake, and then above that there's a super thick layer of fog, and the sun's kind of disappeared up into it. It's crazy. I'm just out here on the side of the island facing Ishpatina Ridge and waiting for it to pop out and say hello. Ooh. One last look before we climb her today. We're starting to paddle over to the ranger cabin site at the base of Ishpatina Ridge to do the hike. Ooh. And I can actually see the ridge finally through the fog a little bit. This is what we're doing with our rest day. Hiking the highest point in Ontario. We're just starting our hike up to Ishpatina Ridge. I don't remember the start or the end of this trail being super steep, but it is bushy. We're just starting from the ranger cabin site on Scarecrow Lake, which is a pretty average little lake in the Lady Evelyn Smoothwater Provincial Park. I remember this hike being like an hour and a half, something like that, the first time I did it, so we'll see how it goes. Definitely regretting doing this super early in the morning because everything is soaking wet. But it should be a fun time. Trying to keep dry feet through this because we've been living with wet feet for the last 3 or 4 days pretty consistently. So we're hoping to have a break from that. The hike actually feels pretty easy after having a canoe on my shoulders for the last 9 days doing this. Same kind of thing. Feels like walking downhill. No big deal. Welcome to the steep zone. I'm pretty sure we're entering the part of the hike that just goes up and up and up, seemingly forever. Doesn't look that bad yet, but if my memory serves me correctly, it just gets worse and worse. Kind of like the Stairmaster 10,000. Welcome to Dick Lake. I'm pretty sure it's the highest lake in Ontario, but don't quote me on that. I don't have the map with me to double check my facts. Super clear though. Might get a better look at it on our way down when the sun's overhead some more. Ooh, that breeze is nice. I don't remember there being a lot of the hike left after Dick Lake. I think you're pretty close at that point. I do remember a stretch of incline again, and then there's the top. Well, my memory could be totally off, so who knows? Whew, the hill's got to throw one last steep incline at you right before the top. See the view getting good through the trees though. Holy. Looks like the fog's still possibly rolling off the lakes, which would be amazing. Well, we made it. Welcome to the highest point in Ontario. It's been a long journey to get up here, but well worth it. Ooh, it's bringing back good memories of the trip I did 4 or 5 years ago. With a bunch of friends, first epic canoe trip I ever did. Oh man, such a great feeling. Just remember when you get to the top of Ishpatina Ridge that the blueberries are plentiful. There's literally patches of blueberries all around the tower. If you forgot to bring a snack up here, don't worry. As long as the blueberries are in season. You technically can camp at the top of Ishpatina Ridge, but it's generally not a good idea because it's very frequently hit by lightning. So personally wouldn't recommend it, although it is very tempting. We plan on just staying up here for a little bit and enjoying the view, because this is our rest day on the canoe trip. Rest day, right? Climb the highest point in Ontario. We're probably going to start working our way down off Ishpatina Ridge now. We still have a bit of paddling and a few portages to do, and then we got to find another camp for the night. Last full day of the trip, so we're taking it easy and hopefully have some energy for getting out of here tomorrow, because we have a 1.5 kilometer portage. Yeah, I feel like I could go for a nap. Yeah, okay. Both a little tuckered today. Bye, Scarecrow. I wasn't even scared. Hey, puppy doo. Are you tired, puppy doo? Oh, I'm so tired. Those stupid stink flies won't leave you alone. Yeah, you get that stink fly. Protect my legs, Nona. Gotta be like almost 2 o'clock and we're only doing our first portage. Slackers today. Ugh. Do not remember that portage from 2 years ago, but I suppose it makes sense. On a trip where you do a whole bunch of portages, you're likely not to remember the little insignificant. No! Okay, you're swimming then. I didn't tell you to go. Well, you jumped out. You stopped to grab a stick in the middle of the stream. Hey, go, Sophie. Come on. I'm waiting for you. She likes to jump ship as soon as you touch anything. Going through these little narrow sections with her. Okay, I feel like I do remember that. I feel like the water was higher when I came through here before, because I don't remember scraping most of the way down. I don't know. Okay, Nona, let's get out. Good girl. You walk it. Come on. Good girl. Good girl. I'll meet you at the bottom, Nona. I had to get the extra weight out of the canoe so I didn't scrape every single rock. No, you're walking. Good girl. Oh, it's getting a bit too hard on the boat. Time for the river boots. Ooh, that feels nice. Give me 1 second, Nona. Okay. Okay. Will it be shallow again here? Yeah, it looks like it. Oh, great. All right, Nona. Go, 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 go. Go, Nona. It's okay. It's okay. Good girl. Good girl. a difference in weight. I'll let you back in a minute. No, you keep walking. Good girl. That section was a bit hard on the boat. Ugh. Okay, Nona, can you get in? Good girl. Oh, it feels so nice. The water is beautiful, beautiful. The water is beautiful, beautiful. Wait, I gotta get in first, Dopey. So we made it to a site on Hamlow. Not the nicest site. It's kind of along the Ishpatina Ridge hiking trail, but that was pretty much all of our options if we wanted a quick getaway tomorrow. We laid down for a nap when we got here and were woken up to a truck coming in, hauling side by side, which was a little abrupt, but the couple and their kids were pretty nice. They told us bull moose has been frequenting this spot, so keep an eye out for that. Hopefully we see a moose. That'd be cool. Castle got to see one on the trip, but I missed it.
You moose misser?
So hopefully we get to both see a moose tonight. Site doesn't have the best boat parking. Ooh. Probably because it's more meant for hikers. The last night of a trip like this is always kind of bittersweet. In some ways I want to go home and have a shower, maybe grab some McDonald's or some dirty fast food on the way home. But in other ways, I'd rather just stay out here. It's too beautiful. It's too peaceful. After 5 days or so, I always say it just starts to feel like home. When you're moving every day, it just starts to feel like your job and feels natural. Can't wait to enjoy one last sunset out here though. I never get sick of Temagami. It's always my favorite. Every time I come up here, the scenery, the solitude, it's just hard to beat, man. A lot of other parks you go, the Portages are just too easy, too well beaten. It's nice in some ways for an easy trip, but I love nights like this where pretty sure we have the whole lake to ourselves. Last fire of the trip. Another sad, sad end to the trip. What's our last meal for the trip, Giselle?
If I can find it. We're having tomato sauce with rice and lentils and some dehydrated chicken. And as an extra special treat, we have some mashed potatoes.
Ooh, the mashed potato.
Mashed potatoes.
We had some with our dinner last night, garlic flavored, and they were spectacular. Felt like we were eating a full, hearty meal out here. We're just trying to get packed up and get out of here this morning. It's the last morning. You can see the sun just starting to poke up the hills. We probably woke up the earliest this morning the whole trip, but we knew we had a long day ahead of us. Not a lot of paddling and portaging, but a long drive, and then unload the truck when we get home. Not excited to be out of here, but I'm excited for a shower. How do you feel that the trip's over?
I'm sad to go home, back to real life, but it'll be nice to be warm. It was pretty cold last night.
Yeah, it was pretty cold. Oh. Not as good a fog show as yesterday. Ooh, can't wait to get paddling. Yet another beauty morning. I remember this portage. It will forever live in my mind in infamy. On the first long canoe trip I did, what I would consider long at least, this was the longest portage, and at the time it seemed massive. Now since then I've done a fair few longer portages than this, so we'll see how it holds up. Will it be as bad as I remember? Even if it is, it's the last portage of the trip, so enjoy it.
Well, the last portage, it's not bad. Like, it's long, but it's not very difficult compared to some of the other portages we had that were shorter. Like the marsh sections and some of the hillier sections. Like, this isn't very technical. There's like a couple little rolling hills in here, but otherwise it's pretty flat. So, not bad portage. Really sad to be leaving this trip. It's been really nice. Don't really want to go back to reality, back to the regular world. Anyway, what do you guys think? Did you enjoy a 15:15 first thing in the morning? Let us know the longest portage you've ever done, or the worst portage that you've ever done, and why. I'd love to hear. Ryan kept mentioning this Valley of the Ferns on this portage when we talk about it, and it is the end of the portage signifier if you're heading back towards the Sturgeon anyway. It's really pretty.
Whew. Portage wasn't nearly as bad as I remember. It could be just because the ones going through Solace put things completely in perspective. It made that one seem like a cakewalk, really. Oh, well, we're just starting in on the Sturgeon River now. Just have basically a kilometer or something like that down the Sturgeon River, but looks like we're going to be wading the first little bit of it, so. Good Nona. You gotta walk. It's too shallow, Nona. I'm not gonna leave you. Oh, I don't remember this section being this long. And I think we're on the Sturgeon now. I can't remember if that's Stove Creek. Might be Stove Creek. Connects you up. Now, we just have to find our exit. Oh, yeah, I don't remember that part being so shallow. Felt like a lot more work than I remember it being. In and out of the boat. Good times. Well, we made it back to the truck. It was a long trip, lots of hardships, gear failures, sloppy portages, steep portages, but we made it. Ooh, I got out there for some adventures of your own. They're waiting for you.